talk about Dungeons and Dragons.
All right.
AI-generated art banned from future Dungeons and Dragons books after fan uproar. A Dungeons and Dragons expansion book included AI-generated artwork, and fans on Twitter spotted it before the book was even released, noting, among other things, a wolf with human feet. An embarrassed representative for Wizards of the Coast then tweeted out an announcement about the new guidelines, stating explicitly that artists must refrain from using AI art generation as part of their creation process for developing D&D art. So this comes from GeekWire.com. The artist in question, Ia Shurkeepen, is a California-based painter, illustrator, and operator of an NFT marketplace who has worked on projects for Renton, Washington-based Wizards of the Coast since 2014. Shurkeepen, S-H-K-I-P-I-N. Shkeepen.
You probably don't pronounce one of those.
Took to Twitter himself on Friday and acknowledged in several now deleted tweets that he'd used AI tools to polish several original illustrations and concept sketches. As of Saturday morning, Shkeepen had taken down his original tweets and announced that the illustrations for Glory of the Giants are going to be reworked. So the book apparently is not going to come out in that form. The physical book won't be out until August 15. The ebook is available now. Okay, so I guess it is out already, rather, but they're going to fix it for future editions. I guess that's what they're going to do. Okay. Wizards of the Coast emphasized this won't happen again. About this particular incident, they noted, "We have worked with this artist since 2014, and he's put years of work into his books we all love. While we weren't aware of the artist's choice to use AI in the creation process for these commissioned pieces, we have discussed with him, and he will not use AI for Wizards' work moving forward." GeekWire adds the latest D&D video game, Baldur's Gate 3, went into full launch period on Tuesday. We don't need any of that. That has nothing to do with this story.
So what? So they don't like that he didn't draw it and he used a computer to help him draw the things?
Exactly.
Why?
So this is the mindset with AI, especially AI art right now, is that we don't want it because it's taking away from genuine art.
Artist.
Yeah.
But if it was the artist's choice
You're right.
to use it.
You're right that this...
Like I get, a company deciding we don't need you artists anymore. I'm going to use AI.
Well, we can tell a part of this, I think, at least for this specific story, is that AI gets it wrong. Because it says right here there were several problems with it.
Issues.
Like a wolf with human feet. That's not a thing.
And I feel like, the guy who was putting those together should have checked his work.
Right. And he says, he'd made his own sketches and this was here to polish it up. I don't know. I don't know if I believe that. I just think you went into, look.
You kind of phoned it in that day.
This is going to happen more and more where it's going to be harder and harder to tell. It's a little easier to tell with images right now than it is like with written text, like we talked about reports or whatever that professors are trying to distinguish if they were real or not. But, art's a little easier to tell because AI has problems with limbs, specifically hands and feet. So we have like an AI image bot in our staff LTN thing that we've been goofing around with. So we had a staff retreat in July where we all went to a singular location and met and talked about the next year. But at night, and mostly, anytime there was downtime through the whole event, we're just sitting there playing with this AI bot. We played a game of D&D there, and we're like, let's create our characters. It's a perfect time to use this. And so we started doing that. And then we're just like, okay, well, we're going to do this constantly. We're trying to get perfect pictures. I made perfect pictures because everyone's trying to do themselves. And I'm like, fat, bald guy, full beard. Let's go. And they all look like me. Every single one that comes out all the other guys are like, you suck. How do you do this? How is it working for you? None of them can get it to look like them. It's just they're trying all the time. Anyway, my current Facebook profile picture looks like it was made exactly for me. It looks like it is a caricature of me. And it was made by AI simply by putting in fat guy with full beard. That's essentially it. I think I put with headphones, and that was it. And the fact that it could, it just, the only thing that they have a problem with is hands. And so you'll have like 18 fingers on a hand, or you'll have no fingers. You'll have like turtle claws. You'll have weird things going on with hands. But it's just going to happen more and more. It's going to be everywhere. We have the AI assisting the opening for Secret Invasion, the latest MCU series on Disney Plus. People were upset about that. I think just the overall idea is we don't want AI to do things that people can do and should be asked to do and should be getting paid for. And so the idea of even artists using it themselves is like, it's like, you're betraying the industry. You know what I mean? It's like you're making this a thing, and we don't want this to be a thing. I don't know if that's going to change over time as we get more and more used to it. But AI isn't going anywhere, and it's going to be in everything.
Yep.
Let's move on to extras. TV and film extras are afraid that AI will copy their faces and bodies to take their gerbs. An anonymous reader shares this report. This is from the register.com. Production companies are scanning the faces and bodies of actors and actresses who fear their likenesses will be used to create fake AI doubles for TV shows and films in the future. Some workers spoke to NPR last week about being subjected to the scans and feeling like they couldn't say no. Alexandria Rubalcaba, who was working as a background actor, described being called into a trailer and asked to stand in front of cameras. Have your hands out, have your hands in, look this way, look that way, let us see your scared face, let us see your surprised face, she said. What was most concerning, however, was that she didn't know what or how her images were being used. My first thought leaving the trailer was, this might just be for the future. We might lose our jobs. Dom Lumsey, an actor from Los Angeles, added, studios already use computational techniques to create synthetic images of people to create fake crowds for backgrounds in films. It's not too far-fetched to think that extras can also be generated too. Andrew Susskind, an associate professor at Drexel University's Film and TV department, explained how AI-made background actors would slash production budgets. He said, imagine ballroom scenes, party scenes, any scenes that need tons of extras. Imagine the amounts of money they would be saving, not paying $180 a day plus meals plus costuming for every single person. So I'm sorry, another AI story, but this seems to be the way of the world right now.
Yeah.
And I feel like what they're talking about here is already possible.
Did they pay her to
I'm sure they paid her for the
compensation for
event that she was
stealing
there
her
for,
image?
but yeah, I don't think so. And there's not really a lot of laws in place to stop. I mean,
right.
We for the last several years now, we've had reproductions of people that have been dead being used in commercials, TV shows, and movies, even big Star Wars stuff. And
did they have to receive permissions for that?
I don't think so. That might be chachanging now, and that might have changed.
Go to her estate.
That might have changed in the year. But I remember The Simpsons, I think, did an episode about, I think it was Simpsons. It might be South Park. I don't remember now. But one of those shows did an episode about just reusing dead celebrities' images to sell vacuum cleaners or whatever. Had Fred Astaire dancing with a broom, or a new Dyson kind of stuff. That kind of stuff back then was unregulated. It's just it's like this guy passed into public domain when he died. He's ours now. He's anybody's. I don't know if that's still the case. now that like stuff like Star Wars is happening, but I really don't think it's regulated properly rather. I remember the guy that played General Tarkin, I don't remember the actor's name, but I remember his family was like, hello? Gonna ask if you could do this or anything? No? Okay. Like, it's just...
But you could argue, like Simpsons, they draw and create characters they could, draw a cartoon of someone that's died. How is that different than making a computer animation of someone that's died?
Well, yeah, I agree with that. But I guess in this situation, we're not talking about people that have died. We're talking about legitimate extras that you could call back to be used for your next project. Yeah. But instead you're like, well, now we've got all your images. And so we're just going to map this onto a computer body for nothing, for pennies. And we don't need you anymore. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. People are people. Let people be people. Okay, let's move on to the Pope.
Okay.
Guess what? It's still about AI. Pope warns of AI risks so violence and discrimination does not take root. So this is ARS Technica. Discussion about artificial intelligence everywhere these days. Even the Vatican. On Tuesday, Pope Francis issued a communique announcing the theme for World Day of Peace 2024 as Artificial Intelligence and Peace, emphasizing the potential impact of AI on human life and calling for responsible use, ethical reflection, and vigilance to prevent negative consequences. In the communique, Pope Francis' office called for an open dialogue on the meaning of these new technologies, endowed with disruptive possibilities and ambivalent effects. Echoing common ethical sentiments related to AI, he said society needs to be vigilant about the technology so that a logic of violence and discrimination does not take root in the production and use of such devices at the expense of the most fragile and excluded. How weird is it that AI, which is something most of us didn't even think about 8 months ago, is now such a big deal, the Pope has to comment on it and even make the whole World Day of Peace for next year about it.
Yeah.
It's moving so fast. I mean...
Well, next year we're all going to be...
Next year we're dead.
Yeah. We're all going to be slaves to it.
Somebody, I think Oriole sent me a music video. Someone's redoing the words to American Pie about the AI uprising. It's all the day the robots rise. Let's talk about how we all laughed at AI and all this kind of stuff. And now here we are, dead.